Well, hello again. Welcome to the HireMyVA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking your bank. That's the most important bank.
Yep.
I'm Dave Braun. I'm here with my partner, fantastic business mentor and coach, great friend of mine. We talked just recently about how much we're supporting each other, and it's fun, Larry. It's fun. Thank you for being my friend and walking through this crazy life journey with me.
Well, hello, handsome Dave. How are you? I'm here with my trusty companion, Bodie, who wants to be on screen, but I'm not going to let him today.
Aww.
I know. But yeah, thanks, Dave, for going on the journey with me. I'm just going to keep reminding folks this. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Stick around to the end. Pretend that you're watching a movie and all the credits that happen afterwards, right? Because sometimes there are, not always, but sometimes there are little nuggets that you might get right up to the very end of the podcast as we're ready to sign off. Okay, and so I'm going to leave it at that in case you didn't see the last couple of episodes. Okay, but Dave, I think we've got a pretty good question this time. We're kind of on this series of talking about virtual assistants. Not just, by the way, sometimes this podcast, if this is the first time you're joining us, sometimes we talk about specific topics of hiring, preparing, hiring, and thriving with a virtual assistant. Sometimes we just talk about general business and entrepreneurship challenges and questions that come in. But this episode and the two previous ones are more specific for VAs. So Dave, I think we've got a question that we might want to share that someone has submitted regarding VAs, right?
Yeah, the last episode was kind of a fundamental one, and so was this one. And it's like, Larry, I can't believe we waited so long to address these.
Episode number 94.
It's like ooh, duh, but it's our podcast. It's our podcast, and we can cry if we want to.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So here's the question. You ready?
Okay.
What does a virtual assistant do?
Dave, this could be a very short podcast. And you know what? They can do everything.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, folks. We're signing off.
Bye. Go to HireMyVA.com. That's it.
No, maybe let's give some examples on this.
Yeah. So let's go through, within the program itself, we've got a lot there that we walk you through because we want you to start thinking in your mind that, don't just say, oh, they can't do this or they can't do that.
Right.
No, they can do anything. Let me tell you a quick story I remember listening to a Tim Ferriss podcast, and he said, I can get a virtual assistant to do anything. And the guy said, well, I want to challenge you on that. And he said, go for it. I'll bet you I can have somebody do anything. And so the guy said, I want you to hire a virtual assistant to help you find a girlfriend. Okay, good challenge.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening, long story short, is he hired somebody specifically for this. He arranged, they searched through whatever dating app or whatever for all these people, and he arranged back-to-back 15-minute speed dating calls at a coffee shop, right? And then whittled it down, and eventually he had a girlfriend.
There you go. Yeah.
So folks, as we're talking through a few of these, some of these will be obvious, but start, opening up your mind, thinking that they can really, really do anything.
Well, we do have a document, Dave, in the program in the prepare section. Yeah. I forget how many examples we give. And we did that just to open up your mind, expand your mind. Because you think, oh, I didn't know I could have a VA do that. Yeah, you can. But maybe we got to start with, there are general virtual assistants out there, what we might call an executive assistant or a PA, a personal assistant, right? So they do basically general admin stuff. They control your calendar. They follow up on invoices. They might create surveys or put together stats for your KPIs. Larry, what's a KPI? Oh, you need to be in our program. You need to go through the Victory program. Key performance indicators is what we're talking about, because our thing is not ours. Everyone says what's measured is improved, right? But how many of us, Dave, are so darn busy, we don't even do the basics that we should be doing for our business, like measuring our successes and our failures, right? What else can they do under the general admin stuff, do you think, Dave?
Well, and one of the things that I have DAF do is, on our website, we have a portfolio of websites we've worked on or clients we've
Yeah.
worked with, and she updates that. I say, here's, I want you to first do a blog post on it, and she creates the graphic and
Yeah.
does the basic text, and then I review it, take a few extra minutes, and then boom, it's done. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that is so great about some of this is you may think, oh, they can't do this. Oh no, they can't. Well, they can at least get you halfway there, 90% of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Like another example is DAF always drafts our the emails that we send out where we talk about this podcast and other
Yeah.
things. She drafts those and then I review them, make a few changes here and there. But that saves me oodles of not only time, but thinking energy because I don't have to come up with something from scratch. She does that. And that is so, so important. So, I mean, even if you don't feel like they can do everything, they can do a big percentage of it and free up just a ton of your time.
Yeah, for me, like one of my strengths from the Clifton Strength Finder is being a maximizer, right? I
Yeah.
hate getting from the 0 to the 80% or 85% mark. I love going from the 85% to the 110% mark. I can help get things really over the finish line. And so with the VAs, if they'll do the initial competitive research and analysis, right? Or if they'll do the data mining for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those types of things are so powerful because then I can utilize my strengths and my gifting on it. Another admin thing that we oftentimes forget is how often do we know, hey, on my website, I need to have opt-ins. I need to have calls to action. Well, those are great, but what if you do nothing with it? Well, your
Yeah.
your VA can capture those emails, right, and start
Mm-hmm.
the process going and do the follow-ups,
Yeah.
right? So general VAs can do just about anything that a in-house personal assistant or executive assistant can do for you. All right. So just think
Yeah.
about, okay, what would a PA or a executive assistant do for me? Well, a general can do that. Let's shift gears, Dave, a little bit. And this kind of goes into your wheelhouse. It's oftentimes there's like technical developers, right? Technical VAs. What would they do? What could they do?
Oh, so one of the things is we've got a few complicated websites that we've done, some e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
websites where we've
Yeah.
done a lot of customization and and so there can be, it's problematic when we do maintenance, their
Sure.
WordPress, when we want to keep them up to date so that they're
Yeah.
secure,
Mm-hmm.
functioning properly. And so when we do that, I like to do a little bit of testing and not just update the plugins and oh, everything is okay.
Yeah.
So Brian on our team, he'll do a little bit of testing for us.
Yeah.
And we've got an SOP on that, a standard operating procedure that we've written, and so he will do that. He also does web design. In fact, DAF does a lot of the basic design of a new website, and we have a one platform we use where she does like almost all of it. And even a lot of the wording. It's just amazing.
Yep.
So they can do the design. They're helping us. Both of them are helping me with SEO work that we're doing on a service that we're still in beta. We've got a couple of clients. We're not taking anybody else right now, but they help me with that. And then of course, and we talked about custom websites, doing JavaScript, PHP, HTML, all those CSS, all those kind of things. They make them. They do a really good job. And in fact, like Brian, he's much better at some of that than me. He's much better at almost all of it. I work a lot more on the goals and the strategy and
Yep.
telling him to do some of this stuff, but so much of it he will do on his own. We've just got it set up. So
Yeah.
it
And we're
just saves
talking,
me oodles of time. It
right.
it helps us produce a much better product for our clients.
Yeah. And your examples were kind of in the web space, right? But
Right.
just about any technical
Oh,
job can
yeah.
be done remotely nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so VAs, don't be surprised, or don't say, "Oh, it's a technical gig, that they can't do it." Okay,
Yeah. Like,
expand your mind a little bit. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say we have one of our clients. They have some accountants that work for them, and you
That's right.
might worry about security, but what they do is they remote into secure desktops
That's right.
and work on things there. So they can do accounting. I mean, it's just there's, we've talked to folks who've done like Facebook ads, right? That's kind of in the realm of a technical person.
That's correct.
So, and when I say Facebook ads, not designing them as much, but figuring out the audience to go to and how much to spend and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And keeping up on that.
Yeah. Another area, like what can virtual assistants do, that I think would be really important for just about anyone that's listening to this, if you own a business, is I can't think of a business that doesn't need graphic design services.
Yes.
Right. All of that stuff can be done remotely through a VA instead of hiring somebody for, $65 an hour for basic graphic design work. They can design your email opt-ins, right? They can design what your blog post graphics might look like. One of the things that I love, Dave, where I think our products and our services and our programs have been up-leveled, is since using both Chris, our in-house graphics guy, as well as Daphne, but even more importantly, Daphne, to create infographics for all of our teaching and our programs, right? So we're turning in, we're how do I word this? We're translating words and concepts into visual pictures, right? Infographics are so important to do this, and she's been awesome at that. Kind of like social media graphics. Once you work with your graphics person and say, if you go to my Instagram feed, for instance, you'll see that there's an ongoing theme of what the social media post looks like, right? Another thing is I saw you just pulled one off of your shelf. There's like ebook design and book design, right? Yeah, so I want you to leaf through that right now. If you're on YouTube, you can see this. If you're listening to the audio version, Dave is holding up one of it started out as an ebook, but it's printed out. It's our 48 powerful ways to create cash flow in your life and business, basically is what it is. But Daphne created and laid out the entire program. Dave and I came up with the content. She created all the graphics that goes along with it to make it more easily read and followed, including checklist and daily tally sheets and all those sorts of things. These are so important if you want to create real value, taking your concepts, your ideas, and making them marketable. Another thing that she created was our 101, is it 101? 108 top books.
101, but the top 8, right? In the first 8.
101 top books that Dave and I recommend. She created that. Yes. So there's all kinds of things that they can help you out from a graphic perspective. And these are highly trained, highly experienced people. And if you're using an overseas VA, is more cost effective than hiring somebody here who's based in the US, right?
Yep.
And I'm not going to get into right now an argument about hire American, buy American. We've discussed this in several other episodes. Your business, if you're listening to this, is probably based here in the US. And if you don't make smart buying decisions in the early days, your business could die.
Yeah.
Right. And we are living in the global economy right now. And you can make a significant impact in other people's lives, and frankly, your own life and in your family's life, if you survive in the early days and start to thrive. But this is I'm not going to get into the argument now about hiring American versus hiring overseas. This is not the right podcast for that.
Yeah.
What else, Dave? We were just talking about a content writer for us, Dave.
Yeah, we worked
last week. We're talking about hiring somebody.
Yeah, in fact, we worked with for a client. We worked with somebody from the Philippines who was really, really good at writing content. In fact, some of the articles I was reading them, I'm like, I couldn't write this well. So you might be thinking that they can't, write in somebody's voice and all that. Well, it could be depending upon their talent. It may take them a tiny bit longer, maybe, to learn somebody's voice, but you hire the right person that they're smart, and there's ways to interview them for these kind of things that you'll know that they'll be able to do it. But they'll pick up the voice and being able to write, and then pretty soon you won't even hardly have to look at it. But even if you do have to look at it, Larry, it's like a 1,500 word detailed blog post that they might write for you. I mean, it's for you to write that yourself is probably going to take you a while. For somebody else to write it, but then you reviewing it and making some changes, that's a lot less time. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, let me throw this out there that we get so stuck, and I understand the psychology behind it. We get stuck, particularly, by the way, and this is not an indictment of anyone, if you've not had a chance to travel around the world, we get stuck that if someone has an accent, particularly if it's not a British accent, that they may not be as smart as we are, right? Yeah. It's not an indictment. It's just human nature. It's the way we're built. They're different than us, so I need to be careful of them, okay? It's epigenetics. This goes back before you were ever born, all right? So I'm not judging you, whoever that might be. It's human nature. It's the tribe mentality, okay? But when we get beyond that, the great thing about someone who's doing copywriting for you, if they do have a strong grasp for the English language, is that accents don't come out in writing.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now there may be nuances in the use of words and the way sentences are structured if English is their second language, right? But I can tell you, having traveled the world, I met an amazing woman who's from St. Petersburg, Russia, right? Where I met her in Monaco. She was the translator. It was 100% Russian. I shouldn't say 100%. Well, it was either Russian or Japanese were the two languages that were spoke there. And I'm speaking English, right? English was a second or third language for them. And so they had a Russian and a Japanese translator there. So this Russian translator grew up in what was then the Soviet Union and now is Russia. Her English was flawless.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, you met my old girlfriend, right?
Yeah, hers was amazing. Yeah.
Did she even have an accent?
I don't know. Not that you could really even pick up on.
That's right. And so there are some people who are so educated, who have such great training. Don't get stuck. Oh, by the way, both Yulia and this woman's English, their writing was much better than, I think I'm a good writer. Their writing was better than mine. Okay. Don't get stuck on this. Okay. Yes. Will most Filipinos have a problem sitting down and writing a book for you? Yes. But you're not looking for every Filipino. You're looking for that Filipino.
Exactly.
Okay. Who can do this. And this is where the HireMyVA program can help you, right? Prepare who's the right person I'm looking for, and then interview and hire that person. And if you're using our white glove service, we have partners, our employees, working in the Philippines to help recruit the exact right person for you. If like copywriting is your gig, don't get stuck on this. Oh, their name is English may be a second language. There are a lot of people where English is a second language, where they probably speak better English than you do.
Yes.
I got personal experience with it. And so they can help you do the copywriting. They can help you write your blogs. And in some cases, they can do your proofreading as well if you hire the right person. But the truth is, these are probably going to be people who have, like in Yulia's experience background, master's degree level education, or this Olga is her name, the woman who I met in Monaco who lives in St. Petersburg. She's literally has a PhD. Okay. Yes. But you can hire them still cheaper than you would hire somebody here based in the US.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So I think those are just a few areas that I mean, just like I think we talked about at the beginning. Open up your mind to pretty much anything that you could do, they could do, right? Gosh, just one of the things that we do in our organization is we do like lunch and learns or whatever. Yes. So we're watching a video together, Brian Daff and me, and we're watching it together and learning off of each other, right? Helping each other that way. And we're all maximizing each other. So, I mean, that's another thing that you can help them do is to help you learn better. They can go take a class and give you the cliff notes, so to speak, right? I mean, it's just, there's so many things. Well,
Dave, you and I are dedicated to lifelong learning. I think, yes, we are both in advanced age. We both have gray hair, but I think you and I have a different we have a different
experience.
Yeah, there you go. However, I think that we have broader minds than a lot of people to this. Like, to talk to my 17-year-old son or my 20-year-old daughter about hiring a virtual assistant based overseas is like, well, of course you would do that. Yeah. Their minds are just open to cloud-based technology right? And I'm sure that there are some people that are your age and my age who don't even technically know what cloud-based technology is. We couldn't hire the VAs that we do today with the effectiveness that we have today 10, 15, 25 years ago, because the technology wasn't there to do this, right? That we're even doing, you and I are recording this podcast right now that if we wanted could be posted immediately. You couldn't do this 15 or 25 years ago, right?
And in a lot of places, the infrastructure wasn't as
right.
good as it is now. It's really, really improved as well.
Yeah, right. That's right. So like in the Philippines, just having the phone lines and the access to the internet 25 years ago wasn't as reliable as it is today.
Yeah.
And frankly, we know, because we work with folks in the Philippines, there are parts of the Philippines geographically, or Vietnam, or the Amazon, that you still can't rely on them effectively, because they don't have 24-hour a day access to the internet, right?
Absolutely.
So there are still pitfalls, of course, but we'll walk you through that hand in hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Anything else, sir, on this?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff on this, on why it's important. For those who are in the program, in the prepare portion, there is a whole list of areas where a VA can help you out. All right. This is meant more just to wet your beak. If you've not been in the program and you've been wondering, what's the topic of this one? What does a virtual assistant do? What can they do to help us out, right? So this is meant to wet your beak. The bottom line is they can do everything, virtually everything for you.
I think I can.
They can't replace you. Can't do that. But just about anything else they can help you with, for sure.
Well, if you find the right person, they can
hire me a girlfriend. Or find me a girlfriend. Not hire me a girlfriend. That's a different occupation. Find me a girlfriend. Words have meaning, Dave.
Yeah, they do. I think we ought to close this one out on that, right?
Yes.
All right.
Let's close it out before I get myself in more trouble.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. And remember, building a team is the way to reclaim your freedom. I'm laughing too much. And we're here to help you, of course, with our coursing community. And as Larry mentioned, our white glove service, where we find a rockstar VA for you and walk you through the entire process. So it's very easy, simple, and you will absolutely love it. For now, though, we want you to do 3 things. And like normal, we'd really, really appreciate it. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already done so, either on your phone or, or on YouTube. Just on YouTube, you hit the subscribe button if you're watching this and click the little bell next to it so you can get the reminders. And then number 2 is give us a rating, leave a comment, whatever it is, it will help us get the word out. And then number 3 is go to HireMyVA.com for more information on the course community. And of course, what we talked about is our white glove service, because remember, even without experience, you may think you need to have it, but you don't. That's why we're here. So without experience, you'll learn how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants. We just love helping folks. We're helping more and more people. Just join on board. Come on board with us. If you want to do that, want to explore more, just go to HireMyVA.com. Check us out.
Yeah, Dave, I was reminded of an early flashpoint that I did. And for those who don't know, one of my early entrees, a tiptoe in the water of coaching and mentoring, was this service that I did years ago that ended up turning into a daily journal called Flashpoints for Achievers. But an early flashpoint that I did that was mailed out said something like this. If someone else talked to us the way we often talk to ourselves, we'd slap them.
Yes.
Right. And it has to do with the negative chatter that we have in our brains about ourselves. We're not good enough. We're not white enough. We're not black enough. We're not rich enough. We're not educated enough. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. Whatever it is, the negative stuff that we have in our minds. If someone else said those things to us, we wouldn't allow that to happen if we're healthy, that is. So why do we allow it in our own brains? Well, what we have to do is replace that negative chatter with positive chatter. Okay, we have to get intentional. And so I'm hoping that folks will pick up that Flashpoints for Achievers book to start putting some daily mantras into their lives. And if not that, then something. Start your day off with some positivity. One of the things that both you and I use is a little daily mantra journal called Jesus Calling. That's something. No matter what your faith walk is, there are little daily readings that you can do. And I don't care what it is you do, because the world will be a better place if we start searching for positivity in our lives. We will find what we're looking for. If every day you start off being a grumpy puff and you think everybody's out to get you, you're going to see that. People are going to be out to get you. But if you're out there every day looking for the little miracles in life, we're going to see that too. So if you've stuck around to the end, you probably are one of the people that needed to hear this today. All right. Stop accepting the negative chatter in your brain. Start putting some positive stuff in there. And I'll leave you with this, like I always do. God bless you. God keep you, and God hold you. All right, my friends. All right, let's go get them. I'll see you.
Bye, folks.